Welcome back. I am Michael Storm, the anarchist of comic books and co-owner of Amazing Fantasies comic book shop here in Topeka, Kansas. We also carry games and other collectibles and things too, but we have about, 60,000 comic books on the floor at any given time, and another 500,000 or so of them in the back room that we're just sort of constantly sorting through and trying to add to the collection. What's out there on the floor and available for sale, and it's just a non-stop process. Really, truly, it never ends. So I haven't done one of these things in a while, but wherever you're finding me at, give it a quick like. Let us know that you're out there. Tap or click or whatever it is on that like button that you have to do to get it to respond to you. Let us know that you're out there, and we will appreciate it. That's a fact. We appreciate that we're able to do this, that we are in this business of collectibles and comic books and making people happy and not really concerning ourselves with a lot of other things, just putting smiles on people's faces, making them happy, getting them the products, the collectibles, the things that they want. And this is one of those weekends. It's no different. This is the new release for Star Wars Unlimited. It's called the Lawless time, and this is the pre-release weekend, and this is my pre-release kit, if you were noticing. I'd already opened it up because I take pictures to show, to promote the thing and to promote our pre-release event for the store on social media, and so it was already open. But I haven't opened the packs yet. And I did do one of these things. Let's see, where was it? Was it two of them that we were looking at them and just, we're doing the thing where you're looking at is this maybe from a different printing press? Is this the good pack? Or just playing around with that as I was taking pictures to promo the events this weekend. We have three events going on this weekend. One kicking off in about 3 hours here Friday night. And it's just pre-release. It's just you buy the pre-release kit and you put together a deck and you play, and everybody who plays with us walks away a winner for sure. We make sure to give out tons of promos and whatever we can, packs, and to just make it worth it for people to just come and play, and even if they don't win, that being the point, is that everybody shows up, because there are some of these guys that play these games, right, and they're really good at them, and they make some of us look like chumps. And so that's one of the great things about draft play like this, where it's blind. Ultimately, you don't know what you're getting. Nobody knows what they're getting. You just have to work with what you have. It's not technically a draft, but you get the idea. A draft is when you open one pack and you spread the pack around, and then you open another pack and you spread the pack around, and people pick out of them. But these pre-release events, it's just constructed. You're just limited to what comes in the pre-release package, and you get some cool things in the pre-release package. You get these dividers. You only get one or two of them, but one this time. But if you've been buying all along with Unlimited, you have quite a few of them, and I noticed I have quite a few of those as well. Different ones. You get the little deck box, your little paper deck box, and it's all decorated, and it's nice. They're nice, it's for a paper deck, and it's got the little thing that keeps it from just popping right open. You gotta put a little bit of effort into it anyway. And then, of course, you have your leaders here, Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia, on this one. So a couple of great. Let's see, anything special? I didn't look at them yet, just to see what exactly it was that they do, what their action was, or anything like that. Let's see, action: return a friendly underworld unit to its owner's hand. That's all right. You tap it and pay one and do that. What's Leia do? This is what, the third Leia commander. I'm sorry, leader. Wrong game. Pay to tap. For this phase, give a unit +1/+1 for each different aspect it has. Wow. All right. Well, that could be real powerful depending on the number of colors associated with. That's what they mean by aspect. The colors associated with them. So if it's a different color, if it's a one color, it'd be a couple or just a 1/1, and then it's more than one color, it'd be a 1/1 or 2/2 or whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm one of these people that I'm very much a collector of the things more than I am a player. I like to collect the packs, and I like to open them, and I like to have a complete set, and I still don't even have a complete set of the first series at all. Not even close. There's probably at least a dozen cards missing out of that first series, the first release so far. All right, so let's see what kind of fun stuff we get in here. Of course, we get a leader right on top. Val Sartha. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I recognize him. Okay. All right, some of these it's going to take a minute because some of this is, it's not straight right out the movie kind of thing sometimes. There's 27-point epic action. Play a card from your hand ignoring one of its aspects. Penalties. Interesting. That's cool. And color, they got the full hyperspace art thing going on there. So I'm not going to sit here and go through all of these cards trying to figure out what's what. I'm just going to get in here and look at some of the hopefully special cards, right? That's what we're hoping for. Out of all of them that I've opened, I have only ever pulled one of the showcase cards. Is that what they call them? The showcase. I've only ever pulled one showcase card, and it was a Lando. So it was the sort of the least valuable, least interesting one. Wow, that's a really cool one to start off with right there. Nice shiny 3PO going on. On attack, you may give an experience token to another non-leader unit that shares a trait with a friendly leader. Which, if you're building your decks, right, that's probably going to happen. That's a really cool uncommon with the already right out there with a nice little hyperspace. An uncommon Falcon. Boonta Eve Flag Bearer. And get yet another hyperspace, and that's on a rare Rogue One. Cool. Very nice. Cassian Andor. That makes sense. If you got Rogue One, Cassian Andor should be the next thing that comes out of it, right? Sure it should be. Of course, that's the way it's supposed to go. There's, this is interesting, right? Because this particular unlimited set, I have a booster box I'm going to open here, too. We're not just going to do the pre-release kit. I'm going to open up a booster real quick, too. Just because I can. So what I paid for these I don't take value out of the store. If you watch me, I don't take value out of the store. That's not what I do. The things that I get, I pay for them myself. And we always do a deal. We always do some kind of deal. Another 27.1. Each action, play a card from your hand, ignoring one of it. Yeah, it's the same. I guess it makes sense. Did I not separate the lands out? Well, I just put them with the leaders then. Why not? But we do, each time we do one of these pre-releases, we try to give a good deal where if you buy the pre-release and you buy a booster box and you buy a carbonite box or something like that. You buy, the more stuff you buy all at once, the better deal you get, and so you can save quite a bit. But I paid cash right out of my pocket for mine, just like everybody else does, just so I could come here and open them up in advance of most people, although I suppose some people have already been out there playing and selling them. We wait until... Well, it's Friday night, and so most people are working. They wait until about 6 o'clock or so to start off an event. And then we have a couple more events, a couple more events over the weekend. Saturday, which I won't be there because Saturday I will be out at the Topeka Zoo. This is really shiny. I just love that. I'm not a fan of the Beach Patrol AT-ATs. I like the look and design of the original AT-ATs. These are just a little bit off, a little bit weird looking. Just the face is a little bit different. The gun arrangement is different. Even the body just a little bit different, but they're still pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. That's another full art and a shiny and all kinds of stuff. And get into your... Oh, got 2 Falcons already. I'm going to fly away on the Falcon payroll heist. Uncommon, so didn't get anything particularly special on the back end of that one. But another rare in there. No legendaries yet. Let's see. Will I end up catching a legendary in the pre-release kit? I don't know. I mean, they're pretty stacked so far. I mean, that's a pretty big chunk of of full art cards right there already. Almost as many full art cards as there are just basic common cards in the packs that we've opened so far. So that's all right. It's a good deal. We'll do an event tomorrow, Saturday. We may do another one on Sunday. We have number of Hera. Hey, like Hera. We have a number of kits. We try to buy enough to make sure we can accommodate everybody. So are these all going to be 27-point lands? Are they all going to do that? I never go and look at this stuff in advance. I'm opening it up and questioning and wondering and being amazed or disappointed by it, just like anybody else would. I don't like spoilers. I don't like looking at stuff in advance. It ruins it for me. There's another full art. That's nice. I mean, this is stacked with full art. I don't think your regular packs are quite like that. I really don't. And I've opened enough of these. Yeah, this is a big set here, right? So this is where all the previous sets sort of kind of get left behind, and you start to looking to 10-4. Nice. You start to looking to complete, to build on other things, different things, newer ideas, new mechanics, new types of cards or whatever that have come along. Another rare. You should get one in every pack, obviously, but I haven't got anywhere near the super special of a legendary yet. But I think, if I remember correctly, these were the two oddball packs. These two right here. One was upside down in the box, actually, and it was definitely this one. It was definitely the Han Solo, or the Han Solo. Boy, that's just terrible. Because he was from the Solo movie. That's why yeah. Old Mr. Lando Calrissian there. That's funny. But I think this one and that one, I think those are the ones that were different, because that's part of the fun of the game, right? To get to, ooh, am I going to get something special out of one of these cool packs because those packs looked a little bit different? Well, I got the Lando. That's all right. He's a nice little rare. What's he do? Pay 1, tap him, choose an aspect, then discard a card from a deck. A deck. If it has a chosen aspect, create a credit token. Interesting. That's an interesting play, because it doesn't say you can only do it to your deck or your decks. The deck you're drawing from or the deck you're discarding to. It doesn't say just yours, so it creates an interesting situation where you're playing with other people's cards. That's one of the things that in these games I don't try to do. I really don't. I try to stay out of other people's decks necessarily and just sort of concentrate on mine. But it's bound to happen. There's somebody that's cool looking. He can go in my deck with his 6, 8, 5. Wow, man, he has overweight. He's a chunky dude. He is a chunky dude, and he's full art. So we're liking that. Some Quarans, pod racing. There's a standard version of that beach patrol thingy. Every single one of these is. All my foils have been the hyperspace cards. Rose, that's one of those characters they said didn't get enough respect, that they just didn't handle them right. Didn't do it right. That's too bad. Defiant Hammerhead. That's cool. Attack that sucker. Hey, there you go. There's some dice. Speaking of the Solo movie, I noticed that a number of the things are out of the Solo movie here. That's cool. I like the Solo movie. I know I'm supposed to hate all of it because I'm an original K2SO. He was such a fun character, wasn't he? I'm supposed to hate all this stuff, right? Because it's not the original. I grew up with the original. It's formative for me in my age range. And so I'm supposed to hate all the new stuff, but I don't. I liked Solo. I liked it was a good cowboy western, space western, ultimately. And I liked a lot of, I know it's sacrilege to say it, but I liked the Acolyte. I liked a bunch of the stuff that has come out. I really like that Lego, that Rebuild the Universe. That thing is so fun. You got a couple of seasons of that. But I'm supposed to hate it all because it's not my Star Wars. Well, none of it's my Star Wars. There you go, Tobias Beckett. Also from the Solo movie. It's not mine. It's not mine. None of this stuff is ours. It's only ours in so much as what we really truly do with it. Everything else, all the stuff that's created, all the new things that come along, all the changes, whatever they make in it, there's nothing we can do about any of it. Can't we just enjoy it? Don't you just want to enjoy it? And the thing that's ruined it, I think, for Star Wars, that's cool. That's a cool looking card. This upgrade costs one less to play on a special unit. You can only have one per deck unit. Mastery learned +3/+3. Wow, that's pretty great. That's all right. We're really going to ramp up the power on these guys and go from the sort of +1/+1 tokens to quickly bumping somebody up +3 on a 4-drop. So you're playing that, within a couple of turns pretty quickly. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that at all. And not to mention the fact that it's one of the hyperspace ones. So it's a little bit rarer if it was a hyperspace foil. I suppose that's as rare as that card will get. These are all really nice. I like these. I'm looking. I love the art on these always. They've done a really good job of just spreading around the art. Look at that, another one. Collateral damage. Just the hyperspace cards in general just look really good. That full art, that ring around them, with that just the stars flying by. It's just fun. Just fun. And as somebody who collects it more so than I play it, like I was saying earlier, I definitely collect more than I play. It works out perfectly, right? to get the special ones. In fact, actually, this one should go over there because it is a hyperspace as well. So it should go over there and not just in there like that with the rest of them. Jin Urso. You have a good Jin? Oh, I guess she goes there. See, I'm going to confuse myself. I do try to, because I'm going to have to sort through them all at some point to be able to put them into folders. I don't know if I showed you guys before, but I'll show you. I'll reach over and grab them here real quick. When I open this one, Saw Gerrera, rare. The red and green, it's so Christmassy. It throws me off. It just throws me off. That red and green gets me. Coaxium mine, that's cool. They all do the same thing. They're all 27s. And I think that's what they did with the last set, too. I think they were all 28s. And I think they all had the same basic ability on them. So it makes sense because they've done all these different ones. There's 30s and 35s. And there's plenty of different lands out there. And they're not without any special ability on them. They're certainly, all they are is just your other aspect, your other color that you're supposed to be using. Another common that is a hyperspace. That makes me very happy. We'll see when we start opening the box here if that's a consistent thing or if this, they just sort of hyperspaced up the entire series or just the pre-release here, because there's way more hyperspace than there normally has been typically in the packs before, by my estimate, which is not an unlearned. Oh, nice! I'm always a fan of a great Boba Fett, and he's consistent in size and color. What he takes to play. Pay 1 if you do deal 3 damage to a ground unit on a play or attack. So that's always nice. You just get him in there and he gets a free shot. So that's cool. Always happy to have some Boba Fett action where these were all uncommons, and Django was right on top of him. Makes sense. Daddy B right there. All right, well, that's the pre-release, and then I'll get into the booster here, but I'll go, let me grab I'll show you. All right, so, all right, you can just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 sets out there. I have 7 collections of it. I've kept some of the posters and the original boxes that had the art on them, and then there's the regular sort of boring one, if you will, and the different variations of the rules. Yes, collector. Yeah. And so let's see that. So I've been doing pretty good. So you can see right there, though, automatically I'm missing one card right off the bat. But yeah, that's basically my what's this? This is the last set, right? So this is the one I have the least of, because I've only opened one box of it at this point, and only a handful of other packs beside that. But yeah, I have them all. Well, not all of them, a lot of them. Yeah, another set. There's Rose again. Let's see, this one's obviously much more complete. Just a couple of cards missing through there. And then I get into the back, and then some of the promo cards and judges' promos and things like that I've been able to collect for each set. But yeah, so I have them all. They're all right. Every single one of those is one of the sets of the Star Wars cards, and they're mostly complete. The closer the older they are, the more of them I have. Alright, let's see. Let's open this guy up and see what we get out of here. So no legendary. Didn't get any legendary in there. And we'll see if the whole... Where is my knife? Seriously? There we go. I have this thing everywhere all the time. It's always in my pocket. It was just underneath my wallet. Alright, here we go. Big old box here. Let's see, before I get into them, let me move this stuff out the way. Not that I probably won't get to play an event this weekend. I don't know. I'm going to go over there tonight if I can, and we'll see if I get to play an event, but I'll just have to get a different I'll just have to get another one. Because technically, you're not supposed to open them until everybody's there, right? So everybody can see, that you're not using cards from somewhere else, which would be kind of hard with a new set. It'd be pretty tough with the new set. Haven't bought any yet. Just exactly how would we... Well, it's interesting right off. You see a few anomalies, right, that I like to talk about there. You see a whole bunch of them that have no white stripe. You see one little white stripe right down there. And look at that guy pinched differently so much that the orange in the color is coming out. So let's do it. Let's have a little fun. We'll set this one aside. Look at that. They just pinched right through that. So that's what that is. Once you get it out there, you see when they sealed it off, it just pinched right through the whole thing. So we'll set that one aside, and we'll set this one aside for sure. But any of these, usually what you're looking for, right? So you're looking for consistency through all the packs. That means they came from probably all the same machine, all the same run, that sort of thing. Or what you would be looking for is variations in size. It would be large to small or small to large. And then when you get some different variation, then all of a sudden they disappear here. And pretty quickly, too. So it's interesting. It's just fun. It's just part of the game. Who knows? And then you look at the other end and you see consistencies there. So you see line, line, line. It's just part of the fun. I don't know why people do it, because there's no science really to it. Not really. Not in any meaningful sense. The science is very simply the fact that, yes, this is different. Yes, the pattern is broken. That means there's some sort of potential for it to have been from a different place. And that's it. That's the extent of it. But it's fun, right? It's part of the game. I'm going to be out at the zoo tomorrow. This is going to be one of the first times, well, actually, it really is literally the first time that we've been out. We've not been out there. And it's been a slow build-up for us in terms of getting the entirety of the business to the place, even where it is now. Because we You've heard, if you've been following along, or if you've been in the store, you may know some of the stories. You may know some of the players, in fact. You may know entirely what's going on, because we've had no real big secret about it. We're not trying to, it's just the troubles of business and decisions, good or bad, that end up being what they are. You just make them what they are. You guys just sit over there and be nice and comfortable. So right away, we're already seeing some full art, hyper speed. There's several already right there. There's 3 right there. So maybe they just bumped them up in general throughout the set. So that's really cool. I have no problem with that. Hopefully not to the point where they make them so they're just everywhere. It basically turning something that's almost rare into something that's just sort of common and not really very interesting. Let's see if I can remember which way to put them all together this time. Was that what? No. Some of them you have to look really close. Sometimes you can't tell. You have to look really close at them to be able to determine if the art has gone. Well, all right, why don't we just throw those on the ground over there? Just get out the way. They just kind of spit out of my hand. All right. Back in the way. Get back in your spot there. Okay, so there's a nice shiny flash events. Oh, yes, pod racing. It's pod racing. Pod racing, pod racing. Oh, wait, no, that's drag racing. That's White Zombie. Wrong song. Yeah, cool. What is this guy? That's Kanan right there. Choose a friendly unit. Give it +2/+2 for this phase. Then you may defeat a non-leader unit with power equal to or less than the chosen unit. Well, that's all right. Nice little play. It's always good when they make the play, because they don't always. I think they maybe were paying a little bit of, stay away from those, paying a little bit of special attention to this set, being as it's a transitional set. It really is a key set. It kind of is one of those places where it's a make or break kind of thing. It could make the play and it could break it. And it remains to be seen. And sometimes it's not, you don't know for a long time. Sometimes it takes a while for the things to have an effect, especially if you're talking about just sort of the amount of it that ends up in the marketplace. If there's a ton of it out there, it just doesn't make it special or hard to come by. So of course there's not going to be any greater value, and so then there's no extra demand for sure. And when you're talking about reaching a point like this in a game where basically all of the previous cards, they're not useless, but they're aged at this point. They're aged to a point where even if they don't take them out of play purposely because they want to rotate the cards, it just sort of happens naturally on its own, because you get further into the sets and you get cards that are similar or even better, and presumably better is what happens, but that's not always the case. We get some more Saw action. And what, he was a rare, so we'll keep him over there with the other rares instead of just with the peoples. Haven't noticed any different bases yet. I call them lands. I have to speak of everything in terms of Magic, of course, just because it's the king, or was. We'll see how much longer they hold on to that. They just make it harder and harder every day for players, normal players, to just play the game. When these companies, they cater to collectors, make it harder for players to play. And when players, they put a lot of effort and a lot of money and a lot of time into their collections and learning how to play the game and being able to compete. And when they have something working against them, like the entire company itself, you're setting yourself up for a disaster. Luckily, it's still playable. No matter what anybody says about it, there's a lot of people that don't like the different sets that they do, the secret layers, and then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the new one. That's the one that's out today, along with the Star Wars. It's the TMNT, and a lot of people don't like it because it's not Magic. It's not Magic the Gathering. I'm going to get that over there. I have to try to keep them in some sort of order coming out in this. Otherwise, I'm putting my hands on them too often, and that's not good for low value stuff. You don't want to put your hands on low value stuff too often, and especially if you're just going to sit on it, which is what I do, because I'm just collecting them because I like Star Wars. And they're fun, and it's been a while, and I do like to play the game. I do enjoy the game. It is a fun game. I love the fact that there's no waste. When you're talking about your energy, what's required to play cards, there's no waste, because you build the deck with the cards, and you use these cards to create your energy to play the other cards. So if things are looking a certain way on the playing field out there, or you're drawing a certain way, your strategy, you can build multiple strategies into the deck, which is harder to do in some of the other games, because you kind of have to stick with your single strategy, because you have to, hey, here's my first legendary, Max Rebo, huh? What's so legendary about Max Rebo? Underworld Musician, he's a 4-drop for a 2/7, he's a good defender. There is an additional regroup phase after the first regroup phase each round. Wow. So that's kind of fun. He adds some more playability really right into the whole of the game for everybody. That's pretty cool. The first legendary out of there. Let's see if we get anything else. Let's see if we get a Carbonite. Not Carbonite. One of these showcase cards, because I was saying earlier, I've only drawn out of now. I haven't bought 2 or more of every, but it's probably been about 2 of each one. So about 14 boxes at this point, 13 or 14 boxes over the last year and a half or whatever it's been. And 2 years, boy, it's been a while already. This game's caught on. It's done really well. And that's part of it, is that whole no waste thing, and being able to build multiple strategies into it, like I was talking about. But yeah, very cool. It's obvious that they bumped up the hyperspace card count in this. Clearly did. Yeah, no question about it in my mind. Unless I am just the most lucky person, and the hyperspace just come to me. Have we even seen a foil that wasn't a hyperspace? Did they finally drop some of the cards? Because it was one of the things that they changed along the way fairly early on. Wasn't too many sets into it. They changed the way it was counting. So like these cards here, where you get the high number like that, 5-something. It's only a 2-something, 260 card set or something like that. But you're getting into the 500s and 600s in cards, because they double up and triple up on the cards in an effort to set. But they're the same card, but they look a little bit different. They're a foil, or they're a hyperspace, or they're a hyperspace foil, and so they're basically just selling you the same card. Looks a little bit different, and it doesn't, it's certainly not functionally different, so there's no benefit for playing it. It's all about them getting you to chase a 700, 260 card set. That's what it is. And I'm not that guy. I will either take the foil, or the hyperspace, or the regular card, or whatever it is I get. And that's it. If I happen to buy more, and I ever get with this one, it's packed with look at that. All right. Yeah, if I happen to get more, if I happen to buy more and get others, that's fine. But I don't necessarily go out of my way after they've done that. It's really, I think it's unfair. You're asking too much. You're watering down the cards. You're just printing cards to make money instead of printing cards to satisfy the market. there's all of these different problems with it, which, for them, they don't care. This is the thing that you guys still have to realize after all these years, whether it's Marvel and comic books or DC and comic books or whatever, it's Wizards with Magic or Hasbro with D&D or whatever it is, that these people, these corporations, they're out there to make money. They don't care about you. They don't care about your individual wants and needs at all, any more than you are represented by the people who are creating the playability of the game and manage the playability of the game for the corporation. They don't care about you, and they don't care about the creators and the people who make the stuff either. That's one of the things that is really funny, to have this sort of it's been an experience of mine. We can to talk about AI and some of the things about it, but I don't necessarily want to get into a big old conversation about it. But the the use of it and people complaining about the theft of characters. You'll see some artist that works for a company complaining about AI making those characters. Well, you didn't make those characters either. You didn't create those characters. You're just using corporate permission to be able to draw those characters yourself. And why shouldn't anybody else be able to draw those characters? Necessarily. That's interesting. Just a regular old leader Darth Vader. He's not rare. He's not nothing. I guess you gotta give everybody a chance to have a Darth Vader in their deck, right? That's a long conversation, the AI thing, and it begins with AI is not a monolith, and the AI, the images that people are creating, things like that. They're not putting anybody out of work. They're not. It's a weird thing. It's a weird time. It's a weird thing. Okay, so what it is it's interesting for someone like myself who's been in an industry where the industry is automated. The industry has been automated longer than I've been in it, and that's the communications industry. Oh yeah, here we go. Yes, another legendary there, the Lawbringer. I've never seen him before. 7/7 on an 8. When played or on attack, choose an aspect. Give each enemy unit with that aspect -2/-2. There's, again, playing in somebody else's deck. But that's different to play in somebody else's deck when it has other uses, which, of course, the main use is its ability to get out there and play 7/7. But then that secondary use is something nice to have in there, and that's part of the strategy that you can build in to the cards because of the fact that there's no waste. There's no 20 cards or 22 cards or whatever it is in your deck that is dictated by having to be a particular piece of land or something. They can all be that piece of land, that energy. It's really great. It's really one of the better aspects of the game, and they managed to manage it really well. Did I not get? Oh, because I pulled the legendary out first, didn't I? Because of all the uncommons just go in the same spot right there. So a couple legendaries out of here already, and a ton of hyperspace. Remember, I already took the other card, the pre-release kit cards out. So this is all just, it's keeping pace. Usually the common stack is way up here, the common not decorated stack. For a foil stack to be keeping up with it pretty well. I mean, it's keeping up with the uncommons. That's pretty good. All these guys, they get it right and they get it wrong, and they try new things and they try different things. And I don't, when I'm sitting here, wow, what is that? Boba Fett. So this is some, Underworld Bounty Hunter. That art is younger Boba Fett then? Let's see. When the friendly bounty hunter unit's attack ends, if the defending unit was defeated, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, create a credit token. Interesting. And then look at the coloring. Black-green instead of orange-black like your regular Boba Fett has been. That's cool. Love to see him mixing it up. You have to keep it fresh. And I get what I was trying to say is I don't fault these guys these companies for making money. I think they're stupid in some of the things that they do and the way they handle some of the things they do poorly when it's not necessarily. Certainly the way Hasbro, Magic, and even Pokemon to a lesser extent, but really just through the distributors. That's a whole nother conversation. It's not Pokemon so much as it's the distributors. The distributors got into this thing where they were trying to make some extra money and because of the popularity of these things, and then they bought too much based on bogus orders, pre-orders of stuff, and then they were stuck with all of this product, and they either didn't sell it or they've taken too long to sell. And that's the battle of the distributor, the reality of the distributor. It's a constant battle of trying to find every single little way to squeeze another sort of dime out of, either save it in the expenses or add it to the cost by increasing, presumably, hopefully, increasing some of the quality of the cards or whatever it is. So I don't fault them for doing what they do to try to make money, but I think that they, pardon the expression, kick themselves in the nuts a lot doing some of the things that they do. It's sort of unnecessary, painful, and it's all for corporate reasons. It's rarely ever to satisfy the needs of players or collectors. Very rarely. It's obvious, specifically this one thing in the adding, of increasing the hyperspace. Makes sense. Should have been being done all along, because frankly they lacked a number of the hyperspace, and there was only sort of one or two every few packs, whereas now you're getting a couple of them in every pack, and that makes more sense for that kind of a face on a card and what you're trying to do with it. That's how you make money. Getting people, you give them more options of those. When it's not that hard to collect that card, then people are going to be that much more likely to try to collect that card. That's cool, Duckus. So this whole bounty hunter thing should really bump up the one set of bounty hunter that they've already done. Because these guys, with the Underworld and with the bounty hunter, that's where they brought in Saboteur. It should totally bump that stuff up. I don't remember what Zuckus is. You notice this, though? First time we're really starting to see that. 3-color aspect. And so that's what I was saying when that very first card that we pulled way back at the beginning, that depending on the increase of the aspects and what they're doing with the play right there, totally changed. That one card makes this guy all of a sudden +3/+3. He's a 6/8 for a 4-drop. And that other, I don't remember what the other card was necessarily on the cost. It was not cheap, but it wasn't, wasn't the most expensive. I think it was out in a couple of hands, if I remember correctly. Canto Bite, I don't remember seeing that one, but it's still the same thing with the aspect penalty. And that's an interesting thing, because now this is a bigger penalty for a card that that shows 3 aspects, whereas normally it's just 2 or even 1. If you're living dangerously and you're playing a single color like that. I think I already have that one, though, unfortunately. More of the hyperspace stuff. I'm loving it. I'm so happy that they did that, and I really am. It doesn't take much to please us out here, guys. It really doesn't. If you could just be nice to us. That's all it takes. Just be nice to us. Every once in a while, throw us a bone. Say, hey, look, man, you know what? It's not always about the money. No, I don't care. It's always about the money. It absolutely is always about the money. But you can't forget us. You can't forget one of the... So, it said they treat us badly. They treat us badly. And by us, I mean a small shop like ours. So we're a comic book shop, but we're also a game shop, card shop. We have thousands of loose Magic, and not as many Pokemon as we used to. It's dwindled quite a bit, and the interest in it, we used to have people coming in learning to play, children learning to play and buying the cards so they could play, and they were there with their parents, and that was happening. But that dwindled off, and it happened when Pokemon was hard to get. And this is not Pokemon's fault necessarily, because they've been very smart about the way they handled their printing and what they do in terms of putting product onto the shelf and the amount of product that's on the shelf. They have a formula, and it's a formula that they've worked very well for many, many years. They do it better than anybody else does. And admittedly, it's a little bit easier on the thing that is interesting to kids, because parents will throw money at them. But so they stop eventually throwing money at them. That's exactly what I'm getting at, is they will eventually stop throwing money at them when they become so expensive. Ooh, hey, nice. Look at that. So that is... What is that card? What is this? I don't know this style. This is different. This is totally different full art than I've seen before. This is more like... This looks more like one of the... one of the leaders that's super special. That's really cool. It's a rare. And I love the Ghost. Ghost is one of my favorite vehicles. And look at all that. All these different points, and it's a 3. Wow, that is fun. I'm gonna put that one there with the legendary, just because it's a different card, and I wanna remember it and be able to come back to it. They treat us badly because we're a small shop, because our big thing is comic books, and our space is dedicated to comic books, and that we just sell Pokemon and Magic and Dungeons and Dragons and other games, things like that, because they're complementary. You find them classically in the same places, and even sometimes the same people playing them, and so it only makes sense. But a few years back, they made it really, really hard for small shops to get product. And it was because of this, malinvested market, this weirdly adjusted, messed up market of speculators chasing collectible cards and making it hard for players to get in there and be able to play. And so it didn't make any sense to make it harder for people to be able to get product for players, but that's exactly what they did. And so we basically shifted out of Magic entirely when that happened, and I don't know, it's been a long time since we carried new Magic product in sort of any large amount at all. We'll have, we have some, but we don't buy it regularly from the distributor, and even if it was available at this point, we probably wouldn't. Because of the way that we've been treated, it's not worth it for us, because we make these are cards and comic books, and we're trying to make money in sort of 50 cents to $2 at a time out here, and you're trying to make it that much harder on us just so you can squeeze a little bit more money, whereas you're in a position to not do that to somebody and still go out there and make more money by developing new product, different product, not by squeezing your bread and butter, the people that made you what you are and made the game what it is today, by squeezing us out. It was all those little shops, those 2,000 little shops or whatever it is around America, those 2,000 little card shops, and all the little the couple thousand comic book shops, and that made you guys what you are. None of you would have it if it wasn't for us. You didn't have Walmart distribution. You didn't have a line through there, because it wasn't that interesting. It wasn't until you guys started catering to another market that you were able to open up that other market, and you didn't have to do anything to us. There's the regular Ghost rare right there, and it's also 3. So is it really all the same? It should be 6, 4, 4. Yeah, it's the exact same cards. So that's just that's cool. I don't know what those are, but I like them. They look more like the leader cards, the other leader cards. I don't know why that word always escapes my mind. I'll say it once, and then it'll just completely jump out of my mind again, because there's no real relation, there's no real reason why that particular word over any other word should be used, I guess, is the problem, because I don't know, showcase, I guess that's the word, right? So it's a showcase card, and I guess that word means something to some people, but to me, it's just another word for a card that looks different than the rest of them, and so there's no reason why it should stick with me. That card looks more like the showcase cards, but the showcase cards are all shiny. That card is not shiny, so I want to see a shiny one of those. In fact, I want to see a shiny ghost. That's what should come out of here, right? We need a shiny ghost. Shiny ghost, not necessarily this pack. That's what's called hedging your bets. And that way, in case it doesn't show up in this pack, it's not like, oh, we have to give up. No, because we didn't expect it there. We're going to keep digging. Oh, gosh, if we don't knock over the camera, it could happen. Haven't done it yet, but I have bumped into it a couple times over the years of doing this. Alright, what do we have there? That's a great character. Arva Singh. And again, just another hyperspace. And look at that. The hyperspaces, I think there's more hyperspaces. They may be thicker. I think there's more hyperspace cards than there are regular uncommon cards. I'm a fan. I gotta say, I will call you guys out every time you screw something up, but I will absolutely praise you every time you get it right. And I think they got it right when they clearly increased the number. That's something that you get in one of the decks, probably the Jabba deck, right? Because Malakili is the Rancor Keeper, and yeah, he's got the Underworld, and well, this is why I was saying, because of the S. That means that it's in one of the starter kits, but probably not as a shiny like that. That's cool. I'm happy. Guys, make me happy. You got me back. Oh, yay! 000. Murderous droid. And then there's BT01. It has a little astromech droid. Both very murderous droids. Dr. Afra's droids. Very cool. I haven't seen Dr. Afra, have we? Did we? Oh, Valance. Nice. Yeah, so she's in here. That would be cool. We can get a Dr. Afra. That would be fun. Let's see. There's still a few more to go yet, and then we still have the two over the special pack over there in the corner, hanging out, waiting for us. Still only 2 legendaries, which I think about 3 for a box. It's not an excessive number. Nice! Agent Callus. Very cool. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Rebels stuff. Rebels was one of the great cartoons and one of the great Star Wars stories. What is this? What am I seeing there? Okay, they all have that. Sometimes some of them are colored in and some of them are not. Okay, just a different spot on the card that it just stuck out to me all of a sudden. So you can look at the difference. They're filled in. They're empty. Filled in there. Yeah, it just caught my eye. I just try to enjoy the things. He's fun. He is a follower of the code. And look at all of those. All of those special cards, ultimately, because they're it's a great thing. It's a good thing. It makes up for them having made the shift that they made, that I said, there you go, L337, and that's legendary. It makes it kind of, in my book, it kind of makes up for that thing where they increased the total number of cards, because before, what it was is that your hologram, your holofoil card. Your holofoil card would be the same number as your regular card, as your regular series card. and it would be the same number. It would not be separate to the set. So if you had it, you had it. There wasn't another one of that card in that set necessarily. These were separate. But at some point they changed that. They made it so that it went from sort of 260 card set with some extra stuff to 700 card sets, and to complete the set, to have all of the numbers of numbered cards in the sets, not just necessarily have all of the cards, because that's been a thing for a long time. That long time ago, you could have the same card reprinted in a set 3, 4, 5 times, just different art, or all the various, counting the foils and differences like that. And that's always been a thing. It was just the extension of the set to make it fit with those foils and those other cards. That was something that at least Star Wars hadn't done it at the time, so it was kind of upsetting for the collector. And because the player doesn't care, so they're taking advantage of me. They're not taking advantage of me. They're just trying to see how far they can push me when it comes to buying their stuff. They can push me to buy it. Convince me. How about just making it accessible? And if you're not catering to certain groups that place higher value in it than maybe the players do, maybe it balances out a little bit, whatever. Once again, I don't hold it against them. I just think that they make some very poor decisions in deciding to cater to one group or another, or to control. That's been one of this one's chunky too. This got another hole in it like that other one did. So it's probably just the machine right there pressing a little bit harder. So maybe not anything special in the other pack over there. All right, yeah, another rare. Boy, it seemed to have a bunch of rares in the leaders. And it probably could be an equal amount, but how impressions are as you're just going through a thing, your own sort of biases and vision and the things that you notice are going to come into play every time. Every single time. So we're just kind of on the hunt now for the coolest stuff, the rarest stuff. We're down to the last few packs, and we definitely got a few legendaries out of it, and I think it's a fun-looking set. I like the idea of the third color aspect. I don't think they had done that before. They may have. If they did, I missed it, and that's it happens. Because, again, I probably would only play in a pre-release or a draft. Oh, look at that. It's actually showing the TIE fighter kick its wings off, which was always a thing that, remember, the toys could do. You could press the side, and it was an explosion kind of thing. Or since you press the tops right up here on the toy, and the wings would pop off. And that's kind of fun. It's a -1 exhaust attached unit. That's pretty cool. That's a fun little card right there, and the art is fun on it. Just knowing the significance of that art. Don't want to pass up that guy. There's one of those ones that if you're not looking close enough, it just kind of looks black like the others, and you might not notice it, but it actually was a hyperspace. All right, we're getting closer to the light. Look at that hyperspace stack just stand up to the uncommons. Oh, there's R2. Yeah, see, so that's the normal one. Remember the other one that was out of the starter set, the what was it, Maliki, whatever, the Rancor guy, yeah, the Rancor Keeper was out of that set. He was foil, so this is probably what they're normally like. So that foil is rare. Very cool. Admiral Mahdi, nice. He's a little rare. All right, down to the last 2 packs, and then the 2 special packs over there. Haha. Let's see if we catch anything cool in the last couple of these. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully there'll be one more big surprise for you before the end here. That'd be kind of cool because it's a big surprise for me. They look back to back on that bad boy. That is so cool. They made me very happy, in case you can't tell. Give this thing a like wherever you're finding it. Oh, look at that. That looks great. That is just such a great looking card. I love it. It just stands out. I mean, it just blasts right off of there. And it's an interesting view, too, because you're looking at this vehicle, or whatever it is, through some kind of viewfinder system, some binoculars or a screen or something like that. And that's just a cool card. Just a purty card. That's half of the fun, right? Collecting the purty cards. Oh, look at that. Persecutor, legendary. A 9 for 9/7, 2 colors. Let's see. When played on attack, choose an arena. You may deal 3 damage to each unit in that arena. I mean, that's chunky, boy. If you can't do something about that, you're hurting. I mean, that kills off the profiteering hunter right there. He's toast. All right, last regular pack, and then 2 more special packs. Let's see what else we get. So we have, what, 4 legendaries so far? Give this thing a like wherever you're finding that, and tell somebody about us. If you're a customer in the store, if you're hearing about the store for the first time, you're somebody that's out this way, maybe doesn't know about us. We are Topeka's best kept secret. It's no joke. And we, every single day, it's just somebody new. It's wonderful. It's a great thing. But I would be just as happy, if not happier, okay, here we go. We'll have to look at that real quick because that's different. That's something we haven't seen yet. It would be just fine if I saw the same people every single day buying stuff all the time and nobody new ever came in because everybody had already all been in, but that's never going to happen. So I want to see new faces all the time. So please tell somebody about us. So this is a rare land. It's a 26 instead of a 27 that all the others have been, and it has an epic action associated with it, as some of them do. Discard 3 cards from your deck. You may return a card discarded this way to the top of your deck. All right. Just a way to shuffle some cards in and out of your deck. All right, well, see, here's the 2 special packs. The different packs. Except that we found out that maybe they weren't that different. Weren't that special. And that's what I was saying. There's no science to this. It's just for fun. Don't ever, that's a different Lando. That's cool. I know it's an aspect of collecting, the gambling part of it, but no. You buy what you like, spend your money where you want. What are we doing? We got the last few here. What's happening? Anything cool? It's been just fine. I've been very happy with the pulls. Absolutely. And there's some good looking stuff I'm going to have to look into. Yeah, another legendary. Look at that. That's cool. So that was one of the special packs, had a legendary in it. Alright. So that's at 5 legendaries out of here. I don't know how many you're supposed to generally get, the odds. But I think it's just been a very satisfying pack. Of course, no super, unless that, again, being so different than everything else. Completely different. No coloring in the background like these guys do. It's the highlight around the edge instead. It's different. It's clearly a different card. Clearly a different card. Something new that they've added. They may have done it. Just with a few things like that, they may have made it so that this set takes them over the hump, and that's cool. Nice Qui-Gon. Sorry, a little off there. You could see the bottom, but yeah, it's a rare, another rare, a couple of rares, back-to-back rares. There you go. They may have pulled it off. I'm thinking maybe they pulled it off with this. That they're going to get over the hump, and that the game's going to continue, and that they're going to continue to do what they have to do to make it a good game and to keep the people out here happy. And that's a rare thing in the company. So thanks for hanging out. Give this thing a like, share it around, and we'll see you next time. Come visit the store in Topeka, Kansas here. It's Amazing Fantasies, and it's not real hard to find. Everything's right off I-70 in Topeka. So if you're just driving through the middle of the nation and don't have anything to do, stop by and see us.